What's it like listening to yourself?
It's not me. It's my recording.
Well, what's it like listening to something that you've produced? Are you like super analytical after the fact? You can never let it go.
Yeah,
You're
absolutely.
that kind of creator. Yeah.
Absolutely.
A track is never finished.
I mean, yes, but also I do feel like this particular track, when I listen back to it, I hear a mistake I made that I decided was cool. But is it really cool? Years later, I just was like,
Yeah.
I had this like really great idea that like I was going to have the delay on her voice only be in one like channel. I think it's on like hard pan to the left. I was like, that's cool. But I was like listening on monitors, right? Like I was mixing on monitors. I barely ever listened to it in headphones. And then I had gotten so used to it that by the time it was over.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I'm like, why did I do that? Like, and then I listen in headphones and I hear my head going, oh.
So it's not a mistake. It was a creative choice that you're not sure if it was well informed.
But I also like, I'm trying to remember back because I feel like it was just the fact that I had hard panned the send, I think is what it was. And then I just like stuck with it. I like committed. And then I was like, yeah, this is really cool. You never hear that. I love it. And then I was like, why did I do? Like later, I'm wondering why I did that.
Yeah.
To answer your question about that,
could have been an innovation. You know, T-Pain starts dinking around with auto-tune. It's like, is this a good idea? You never know until it changes the entire music industry.
But now everyone who listens to that will listen for that one-sided
That's
delay.
Right.
And
that's right.
It's amazing. It's innovative. It is the future.
People haven't caught on yet, but in a few years' time they will.
Maybe.
And this will be the time capsule that stamps that as your contribution to the field.
100%. Let's hope that that's the case.
Chrissy Tignor.
Yes.
Welcome to the Spin Cycle.
I'm so happy to be here. Thank you so much.
I'm very happy to have you. As I was saying to you earlier, you are the first person to be on this show who's not a part of this College of Music. I'm not sure if that's a point of acclaim for you or hazing, but I very much appreciate it.
I'll take it either way.
Okay, good. Well, I have a lot of questions for you about your multi-hyphenate identity as a music producer, educator, and content creator.
That's me.
I personally identify as an educator. I don't identify as a content creator, but I do content creation.
Yes, you do.
and I have some questions for you about what that is like to be in that role. And then in terms of music production, I teach my students how to make beats and build tracks in Soundtrap and Ableton. And I have no idea what I'm doing other than I like kind of know something about teaching.
Kind of.
And it's super fun. It's super fun to like goof off and like.
I don't know how true that is, but.
No, it is true because I know just a little bit more than they do, and I always will. Like in the same way that I've taught rock band methods for like 15 years now, and I can play the hell out of like a DG A7 progression. And then these kids coming in that haven't done anything before, they're like, oh, this guy knows how to play the guitar. And they have no idea.
That's all it takes.
That's
same progression every time.
That's right. Yeah. Okay, well, let me ask some basic questions. Who are you and what are you doing here at Florida State?
What am I doing? Well, my name is Chrissy Tignor. Online, I'm datachild. It's up on the wall behind us somewhere. That's me. And yeah, I'm a producer, engineer, educator, also content creator. And I'm here at Florida State producing a student song in the studio.
Okay, wonderful. Now, it's one student song. If I understand, there was like a competition.
Correct. So there was a songwriting competition where students submitted their songs to for me to judge, basically, of which one I wanted to produce. Not judge in a negative way, but just say, hey, which one do you feel like you really want to produce on your trip here? And I was like, oh, yeah, I'd love to listen to them. There were so many of them, and they were all amazing. And then after I listened to the whole collection of songs, I listened back. They also submitted like lyrics, and I just really did a thorough analysis of the songs as a whole. Most of them were in demo form, which is great because that means that there's a lot that we can work with. And yeah, I ended up picking one student song to be the one. I wish I could pick more because that would be amazing, but we only have a couple of days here.
That's for the next trip.
Yeah, next trip. But we ended up choosing a student. Her name is Eden Riwa. And yeah, they're recording the song over the next couple of days. And I'm helping produce.
Okay, incredible. And then what do you do outside of FSU? You already gave sort of your multiple identities, but like who are you doing that for? Also, maybe what are some other things you've done professionally?
Yeah. So, well, that's a very big question. Currently, I'm an assistant professor in the music industry studies program at Cal Poly Pomona, which is one of the California state schools from the CSU. And I absolutely love it. It is amazing. Students are amazing. And, California is also really great. It's nice to come here too because it's also warm. Other than that, I am a producer, engineer as well. Just all sorts of different parts of production and engineering. So right now I'm recording a couple of different artists on the engineering side, producing another artist. I'm also a sound designer. So I make presets on synths. I just had some presets that came out on Sequential's newest synth, the Form. So my sounds are on there on the stock sounds, which was like so exciting because
That's
I've just
cool.
been such a huge like Sequential fan for such a long time. So for me, I loved it. I also do the content creation, and most of the content creation is built around my flea market finds because I'm an avid thrifter.
Incredible campaign, incredible social media campaign.
And it happened by accident. I call myself an accidental content creator because for a while I was working at Splice on the marketing team, and that was when I first got introduced to content creation. I had done like online courses because in my previous life, I was also a professor at Berklee College of Music. I did courses with Berklee Online. I've been on camera a lot. But I started working for this marketing team. They're like, you should do content marketing. And I'm like, I don't know what that is. I don't even know what marketing is. And I feel like the first one I had to do was a collaboration with Isotope for Splice's social media because they do like the rent to own plugins and stuff.
Yeah.
And then I started making content, and that's how I learned. I learned by just being thrown on the deep end when I was there. And then because I started to learn kind of the art, I would say, of short form content creation. I'm not really big on like YouTube. I like short form. I started to just kind of take a nice little like survey of my flea market trips every weekend because I noticed I'm from Massachusetts originally. The flea market world outside of Los Angeles, especially in Massachusetts, it's great. That's actually how I started being a multi-instrumentalist, is because my mom would thrift instruments for me at the flea market. So it's
you got to play like the cheap instruments.
Yeah.
It was always like somebody who got rid of their student flute.
Yes.
There.
Oh, absolutely. So my mom would and my dad too, like they would go to the flea market with me or without me and just pick up instruments.
Yeah.
They were like, learn it. You're a musician, learn how to play it. And that's how I started playing a bunch of instruments. But anyway, in California, the flea markets are just on another level. Well, they're crazy.
And you have 360. First of all, there's a higher density of weirdos,
correct,
I think, than likely in Massachusetts.
Correct. Well,
I mean, you have people from weirdos from around the world flock to where you live.
Correct.
It's a mecca. I mean, all the best cults are located in your area.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And you have 365 days of flea marketing.
Yes. That is true. So sometimes it rains, but so rarely. I don't even check the weather. I just go. I just show up. So every weekend there's like a rotating like LA flea market schedule, and I go and I do the rotation. And so for whatever reason, I just decided one day I'm just gonna like take a shot. Like I'm just gonna, not a shot, but like a shot of all this weird stuff that I'm finding, and it popped off online.
Totally.
Like people just loved it. And I was like, oh, that's really interesting. Like I never thought that this would be it. I thought like I'm a teacher, educational content or something.
Yeah. Me talking about the MIDI piano roller.
Right. No.
Yeah.
It was the weird junk that I find at the flea market.
Totally. Yeah.
And my obsession with weird, old, unusual instruments.
That's awesome. I'm gonna stop you here because I have so much to say about flea market finds and datachild. But you said something a moment ago that I do want to talk about, and sort of the theme that I like to start out all of these shows with, which is tell me about your relationship with music as a child.
Oh yeah. Well, some of the songs I gave you are related to that. And I don't know if we're going to go into it, but as a child, I was always musically inclined. I will say that. My dad specifically would only listen to the Beatles.
Okay.
I mean, he listened to other stuff, but he was like, you're going to listen to the Beatles and you're going to love the Beatles, because my mom burned all my Beatles records because she thought it was like evil music. And so he's
And then
like,
here you are
"You're-"
listening to like
I
Charlie
mean,
XCX.
oh, we're getting there. Yeah. So my dad, as far as this progression, which is happening with my assortment of tunes, my dad would just basically make me listen to the Beatles. And my mom would listen to Prince. So I was listening to a lot of Prince and a lot of Beatles when I was growing up. And it really started something in me from a really young age, just loving music. And I started playing when I was like 8, I think. I was a clarinet player. Through that and the thrifting, my parents got me a saxophone, started learning to play saxophone. They found all sorts of stuff at the flea market. I think an oboe was one. Yeah, I don't know. But it ended up
classic flea market instrument,
you know,
the
right?
oboe.
Like so weird. They found like a violin, but they ended up getting secondhand a bassoon for me, and that's how I started to play the bassoon.
Wow.
So
And your parents love you?
they loved me. And I loved the bassoon. Anyone who wants to talk trash about the bassoon, listen. It's my favorite.
I have a lot of conversations. It's the bassoon is one of those instruments that people love to make fun of.
Oh yeah,
but,
the farting bedpost.
Yeah, man. Bassoon is incredible.
It's the best.
Makes an incredible sound.
I mean, it's not cool when you're like kind of a weird kid and you're lugging around this big case and like you're the one with the instrument that sticks out.
I mean, it's not even cool if you're not that weird kid. It's not a cool, but you know, that's not what makes something special.
Mm-hmm.
The timbre, the insane difficulty to make a good sound.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, some instruments
bassoon.
you just touch them and they sound great. The bassoon, if you look at it.
You got to work at it.
Yeah.
So I was like a multi-instrumentalist essentially, started singing as well. And then I just realized I was a musician and there was nothing else that I was going to do ever. And that's, you know, I was in a band in high school. I played synth. My parents got a synth, a Roland XP30 from the pawn shop in Las Vegas and took it home. There's a theme here with the thrifting. And I was like, what is that? It's a synth. And that started the long love affair with synths. And then, that's pretty much it. I was just a multi-instrumentalist and I just knew there was nothing else I ever wanted to do, ever. So
That's awesome.
Here we are,
That's
still
awesome.
doing it.
Yeah. Great. Well, thank you for that. Let's move on to your job as a producer.
Okay.
One thing that I find interesting about your corpus, your oeuvre, is that you make your own tracks and you produce other people's.
Yes.
I think that's probably pretty common, especially nowadays where people are just like hustling. I mean, it's hard to be somebody who like just makes money off of your own music. You have to have partnerships and collaborations. So I guess just generally, what is it like to operate in that space? And then also, what would you rather be doing? Would you rather be making your own stuff and doing songwriting, or would you rather be helping realize somebody else's dream?
I think what made me want to be a producer is I've always wanted to bring the best out of an artist. That was like number one for me. However, I found that I was still producing stuff on the side that wouldn't necessarily work for an artist that might work for me. And I did over time release songs as an artist. We'll get back to that though, because it was never like my main thing. It was never my main passion. I love making an artist feel good about themselves, but not doing it like so that whatever I'm producing for them sounds like me. I don't like that. Like if a producer comes in and says, you have to do this my way because I know better than you, that's not my thing. Like I want to take whatever that artist is doing and make them sound their best in their vision with my guidance. Yes, but in their vision. I think that's really important. And I think that's also why a lot of my production, I guess work that I've done is across a lot of different genres, because I'm a real music lover. I'm a real producer. But I love all types of music. And again, it's about the artist at the end of the day. So, if I feel like I can help guide them to make them sound their best, I will do that. So I love that. Yeah. Sorry. I'm interested.
Well, no, that's fine. that seems to require a certain understanding of the artist's sound. How do you, when you have that first introduction discussion with the artist, how do you identify what it is that's them that you want to lift up and celebrate?
So for me, obviously you have to listen to the artist of what they tell you, but their music speaks as well. So I think, and this is why even as an educator, I'm so passionate. I know we're going to talk more about it, but I'm really passionate about even like songwriters, artists, anybody who makes music to have at least basic tech skills to record themselves. It helps capture their vision, even if it's not fully figured out. So when I listen to a demo from an artist, whether they produced it and recorded it themselves or someone else did, the demo really, really helps me inform what their intention is. Does it mean I'm going to keep all of it? Probably not, right? But I can understand what their vision is. And then I ask them, what are you hoping to accomplish? What are your references? Like, who are the artists that really excite you? And it does not even have to be the same genre. What do you like? And just listen to what they have to say. The other part of it too is like, I think it's important to have artists, especially vocalists, listen back a lot to themselves after we record, because it helps them. I think that there's a degree of vocal production of like, hey, like maybe try this note, maybe sing it this way. You know, if you can't hit a high note, actually duck down instead of trying to reach for it, because that like will make your throat constrict, right? So things like that are more technical ways to like help the performance. But I think also allowing an artist to hear themselves self-correct also, I think that's really important. So a lot of listening, a lot of playing back, and allowing them to also be very involved in the process.
Right. So sort of this discursive circle of do, reflect.
Yep.
Yeah. Cool.
Absolutely. Yeah.
What's like, and maybe this is an unfair question to some of the artists you've worked with, but what's your favorite project?
Oh, as a producer?
As a producer, not as something that you've done for yourself.
Favorite project as a producer. That's tough because I produce for my partner, so I should say his. But it is also because I will say that like I had avoided like making music with a significant other for a very long time, and we have a really, really great working relationship. So I would say yes, his. But actually, the artist that you just played that I told you I had the mistake on, I feel like that was one of the times that I felt like me and the artist, we were like really aligned. It just felt really, really right. And I think that for me, when I listen back to it, even though I think I recorded it in like 2009, that's something like that.
Lifetimes ago.
Yeah. Lifetimes ago. I still listen to it and I'm like, oh, okay. Like this is the type of music that I love to produce too, the kind of singer-songwriter type thing. So I would say maybe, yeah.
You have to choose your 2009 or your romantic partner.
Yeah, which we have a song coming out this year. But but I love that too. You know, like I do think that that's also really special.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, if this were a therapy session, I would follow it up with some sort of conversation about perhaps this dude is the one because you can make music with them.
Yes.
Previous partners, you have been reluctant to get involved in that, but
I mean, yeah. I mean, he trusts me fully.
Yeah.
That's important with a producer. You have to have a producer that you trust. Otherwise, you're going to be on the defensive and then no good music is going to come out of that.
Right. Yeah.
But yeah, no, we've been together a long time. He's my guy.
Okay. Right on. Okay. Now let's talk about something that you were sort of saying earlier. One thing that I know from following you. Oh, by the way, you are one of my favorite follows on Instagram. Your content, like I am right in the middle of the circle of who your audience is supposed to be.
Thank you.
And I've been following you for years before, I think maybe even before I came here to Florida State. One thing that's obvious in your content is the number of weirdo instruments that come across your grid. You said that earlier. Maybe this is related to your parents and how they raised you by buying you random ephemera, musical ephemera. And, it's all sorts of stuff that comes across, but there's a consistent theme around synth. You seem to really like synthesized sounds. You got a theremin on there that you do your meowdulation stuff.
I feel like that needs an explanation.
No, we'll just leave it there. Yeah, you'll have to go to her.
Go check out my Instagram.
Go check out Instagram to get more information about that. You do a ton of omnichord stuff. You love the omnichord.
Yeah.
And then what's the thing? The
automaton.
Yeah, you got that. Anyway, and then also like all sorts of modular synth. You like modular synth stuff.
Oh, well, I appreciate modular synths, but I'm not a modular person.
Well, you can't be, like, unless you started doing modular synth 45 years ago.
That's when my
then
synth hoarding would become a real problem, because if I get into modular, it will just take up my whole house.
No, y'all, that's why we invented computers. All right,
Yeah.
so we're gonna have to.
But I would say analog synths, yes.
Who's that woman, Sarah? What's her last name? She's my modular synth follow on Instagram. Sarah.
I don't know.
Anyway, we can cut this, but it's she's great, and she is. Yeah, I guess what I'm saying is modular synth people, you have to have such detailed knowledge of stuff. But apart from that, and I don't want to talk about flea market finds just yet, but you also, when you are in the flea market and you're finding these instruments, you talk about everything, but you seem to really like synthesized sounds. Could you tell me what you think that is about either the sound quality of synth or maybe the historical legacy of synth? What is it that you love, and how do you like to use it when you're producing tracks?
Oh, okay. Wow. I told you how it all started. My parents got me this Roland XP30. My parents didn't even know what it was. They had no clue what they even brought home. They were like, that looks cool. Chrissy will like that. I'm like, okay, yeah, I'll have that. And then, to be totally honest with you, I feel like once I went away to college, the synth, was with me. The synth traveled with me for my master's when I moved to the UK and lived with me for 4 years in the UK. And then it came back with me back to Boston before I went out to LA. So it's gone everywhere with me. This thing it's still in my collection. That was where it all started. However, I didn't know what I was doing in terms of sound design or like real synthesis. Like if I was going to make something myself, I didn't produce music with synths. I just liked my synth. And like, that was it. So most of what I was doing was very much acoustic, some maybe like a synth lead maybe. But then I went and did my master's at Westminster in London. And one of my teachers, Mike Exarchos, he's the best, taught me synthesis. And he taught me how to build a sound from oscillator into the filter with the LFO and then to an envelope. And he taught me the process. I failed my first remix assignment in his class and he was like, you're better than this. And I was like, but I don't know. He's like, you need to start listening to electronic music. And I'm like, I don't do that. I listen to the Shins, which is on the list too. I'm like, I like to listen to acoustic stuff. What do you mean? But also I used to listen to a lot of hip hop too, but none of it was connecting. It wasn't connecting for me until my teacher taught me this stuff. So anywho, after all of that, I started to learn how to make my own sounds. I learned how to open up a preset and make it more of what I wanted, which was like really the key. And then in pretty much everything, I've started using synthesizers or like some other like ear candy weird instrument. It's been in everything ever since, I went and did my master's. Now I use my weird instruments from the flea market on literally every production. Yeah. It's just, there's something about hardware too. I just feel really passionate about like a strange hardware instrument because you can do so much with that. And it's not a stock preset. It is on the keyboard, but also it has like the grit and noise of like a weird, it doesn't even have to be perfect, kind of out of tune. I love that stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, that's great. Okay, but let's go back to when you were doing synthesis, and I understand. I hear you now that you prefer to just, and maybe there's something tactile about it too, like actually touching something rather than just scrolling a cursor around.
Yeah.
But let's go back to when you were in London learning synthesis. I guess this question also relates to synth instruments, and that is when do you know that you found a good sound? Like, forget about the signal flow of it all and, signal generation
when you
through
feel
LFOs.
When you feel like you can't stop playing it. Because like if you're scrolling through sounds and like you find something, you start to do a little melody. And the moment that happens, you're not just like hitting like an F. No. Once you get it, you're like, oh, okay, I'm going to play a melody or I'm going to play some chords. How does that sound? So when I start to feel like the inspiration coming from it, and start to play, that's usually when I know it's a good sound.
So for you personally, as an individual listener, I understand that you are producing for a sound that listens well for you.
Yes.
What does that sound like? What are some commonalities around the timbres that you like?
I mean, how specific do you want me to get? Because
specific but not technical. How about that?
Okay. I'm like, well, sawtooth wave based.
Well, but tell us about that. But then why sawtooth? What sort of feeling and sensitivity does that develop?
Okay, so the reason why I love a sawtooth wave Here's why. If we're just talking like your straight up like subtractive synthesis, right? So like
Yes.
we're working with like basic waveforms, great. A sawtooth wave is going to have the most harmonics. It's the most lush thing you can start with. So that means you can do the most with it.
Yeah.
So I love to start with something like that. Anything that has that, immediately, if I like the sound, great. But I also know I can tweak a sawtooth wave really well. So yes, sawtooth waves. I gravitate toward those.
Mm-hmm.
I also feel like as far as synth sounds go, I love a good plucky kind of sound. I love a good synth keyboard sound. So that's why I have all these Casios and stuff. I love that type of thing. And sounds that I tend to use a lot. Yeah, I would say as far as synths, anything that is like sawtooth wave, because that's like my favorite. Anything that's like a nice pluck that has a delay or a reverb on it. I love that. Anything that sounds like a classic like Moog lead.
Yeah.
Yes. Anything with glide. Monophonic lead glide. Love that. And then for drums, like I like literally everything with drums, but let me tell you, I use and abuse an old keyboard's like stock drum pattern on a lot of things.
Well, yeah, I mean,
and process it.
You play the omnichord.
Yeah.
I mean, some of the best tracks in history have been played with the presets, a la Clint Eastwood and Gorillaz.
Correct. And so I love that. Like it doesn't. I don't even have to use any of like the like tonal sounds or like melodic or harmonic parts of it. I'll just like take a little drum loop. And use that. I have this like crazy like Yamaha black box like drum machine that is a one trick pony. It is so stale in terms of the feel of it, but I love it. It's so good. So like I love stuff like that too.
So how is this informing your sound design for these packs that you're delivering to people? And tell me what it's going to feel like when you hear this banger track that somebody used one of your sounds on.
So somebody actually posted a video on social media using one of my presets on the forum.
Incredible.
And I was like, I didn't think that was going to get me so hyped. I was like, wait a minute. And they were playing it. And the thing for me when I'm doing like designing sounds, playability is so important. And I'm not an amazing keyboard player, but my sounds, you don't have to be an amazing keyboard player. You have to be able to play it easily, but also be able to make changes with it musically. So when I saw this person, I used one of my presets on the forum it was called Tahoe Blizzard. And I was like, it's Tahoe Blizzard. I know my sound. And like naming sounds is also really important, but it's basically this very interesting arpeggiated sound that it has polyphonic aftertouch. So like you can actually have like a pitch bend as you hold down the keys. So it's arpeggiating and then you can do each individual key to go. So like it sounds almost like the snow coming down. So a lot of this, like the textures that I like to create is like, how playable is this? How much does it relate to the name? So then someone sees that, they kind of know what to expect already. But like, what type of texture can you make just by playing and experimenting? And that was really cool. And I saw someone like, whoa, look at this cool sound. I'm like, I never thought I'd ever see that happen.
My
It's
baby.
so cool. My baby.
Out in the world.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's
Playability,
great.
but also like not like totally out there. Like I think sometimes everyone's like least favorite, I guess situation when you're searching through presets is like everything just sounds whack, like really weird,
Right.
and like extremely like left of center, which can be really good, but sometimes you just want a really good bass.
Yeah.
Sometimes you just want like a subby fat bass.
It's like I'll listen for like 10 minutes and I'm just like, screw it, I'm doing an 808.
Yeah, no, like honestly, sometimes that happens. So like I like to create sounds that like don't feel like that you're just listening to somebody geek out on the synth who just wanted this preset in there to like show how good they are at synthesis, like look at me modulating. No, I don't want to do that.
So you're a sound designer for the people.
Yes, absolutely.
Good. Well, I want to transition here to our first little experiment here. So if you wouldn't mind, you can sort of slide your seat back, get comfortable, step up here. You can kind of move your microphone so you can follow along there.
Am I going to be talking?
Yeah, you're talking.
So I can just do this.
Yeah, you can just do that. We're still... okay, so here's what we're going to do. We are going to attempt something, and I want you to first talk to me about why you chose these two tracks.
Which ones?
We're starting out with, what am I doing here? Oh, I'm doing this. Yeah. Okay. Here's this first track.
Okay.
Infinity Guitars. Tell me about this song and its relationship to you.
Okay. So It is, I can hear it sort of like, there it is. You gotta hear it. I mean, come on. All right. So this song, when this first came out, this album came out, I was obsessed. To say I'm obsessed, it's an understatement, right? And listen to this. It's crusty.
So
Like,
much distortion.
So much distortion, but it's like digital distortion. It almost hurts, which I don't know. I'm into that for whatever reason.
Yeah.
And I feel like the drums are just so hard hitting on this, and they're quite simple. You have like an electric guitar lead, but everything's distorted like an electric guitar. And like, just listening to it, I'm like, yeah, 100%.
It sounds great.
But it's disgusting. And then you hear this. They're all hearing this, right? Not just me.
Yeah, no,
Okay.
they're all hearing this, yeah.
But as this song builds, you're like, okay, let's go. We're gonna go to the second verse. In comes in this sort of like tambourine.
Yeah.
Right? And as this thing builds, there's this like breakdown at the end that's like changes the vocal melody too, and it's like so epic and so big, but like so disgusting. And I think the reason why I picked this is because it breaks all the rules of mixing.
Yeah.
And like, I like that. I really like that. I think a lot of these examples too that I even chose, like I like breaking the rules of like what
The outliers.
Yeah. Because like if this was like totally clean and no distortion and it was like perfectly pristine, I don't think it would hit.
Yeah. Uh-huh. No, totally not.
Okay, here it comes.
Here it comes, yeah. Opens up.
I love that. So yeah, that's why I picked this. It breaks every rule.
This song's rad. When I saw this on your list, I was like, I don't know this song. And then I heard it. I was like, I've heard this.
Yeah. Yeah, it's sick.
Okay, I got a couple questions for you.
Yeah.
I guess comments. So you said like breaking the rules. I mean,
Yeah.
as a producer, this is something that you work with quite a bit.
Yeah.
There was this little bit of an outdated anecdote because of AI and machine learning now. But in the mid 2000s, 2007-ish, there was a computer called Platinum Blue, which somebody came out with as a way of predicting what would be a commercial hit. And the thinking was music managers have a hit rate of like 1 out of 10. So they'll spend all this money producing, marketing a track, and then it's a flop, only 1 out of 10 times, right? They built this computer that looked at 300 years of musical characteristics of hits, talking about melody, talking about form, talking about bass, all that stuff. What's predicted to be hit, and their lab success rate was somewhere in the 80%.
Okay.
And so people started to use them as a way of just put in, sort of like the plot line of Josie and the Pussycats. You put in the CD and the computer tells you whether or not it's going to be successful. Interestingly, are the false negatives.
Yeah.
And there are 2 instances of false negatives that I read about. One was Seven Nation Army.
Yeah.
Should not be, that follows no conventions that should be
that
successful. You love that
Yeah.
song. And the other one is Here Comes the Sun.
Also love that song.
There's that friggin', 11 or 13 8 at the end of the chorus.
Yeah.
It's like, that doesn't make any sense. That hasn't happened in 300 years of popular music history. So there's something like talking about conventions and what it's like to be an educator who's telling people about form and structure. That's all very kind of mean regressive. And what is it like to then have the musical instincts to be like, no, I'm putting a friggin' tambourine on this at this point, or I'm going to do the drums and it's going to be this dirty and crunchy.
Yeah. So I am a big fan of Sylvia Massey. If that wasn't obvious, I love her. And we had this amazing opportunity to do a course together at Berklee. We have an experimental recording course at Berklee Online. One of the things that she said was break your biases. And I thought that was really a very interesting way to put it. Not like break the rules, but break your biases about what you think a pop song is supposed to be, or how a guitar is supposed to sound, or any of that, or like quantization. Like, oh, it has to be perfectly on the grid, or no, it doesn't. Or like swing has to be this percentage. Break your biases.
Yeah.
And I think that, yes, sure, put it the CD in, and is it going to be a hit? Yeah, maybe based on what the machine has learned. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
However, humans and what we respond to, we are not machines.
Humans matter.
They do. And we react. Sometimes I don't even know how I'm going to react to something. I've had instances where there were songs that like I hated the first time I heard them. And then after a while I was like, oh, got me. They knew what they were doing. And, even listening to Sleigh Bells for the first time, there's one song, not this one, but there's another one that is so distorted and the high end is so bright that like I was listening on headphones. I'm like, whoa, why did they do that? But I'm like, no, I get it. I get the intention, right? But I think we as producers, and especially if we're trying to do pop music, there's always going to be that little something that's like, what's happening 6 months from now? And it might be going back to the 80s. It might be going back to the 60s. It could be something completely unexpected that you never would have put in here. It could have been the happy accident that makes your song unique. The last thing anyone wants to hear is a copy and paste pop song. Like nobody wants that. They want something that's different, something that's interesting, something that their ear can grasp that they've never actually heard before. So to me, it's like, sometimes it's the distortion. Mm-hmm. Sometimes it's like, we were literally just talking about this in one of my pop music production classes. There's this great New York Times video with like Skrillex and Diplo and Justin Bieber talking about this like lead weird, they said it was a dolphin sound or whatever, but no one knew what the sound was. And Where Are You Now? Probably should have put on here, but there's this like very cool lead, and it's just like Justin Bieber's voice run through Ableton, made to sound worse, pitch shift again, bounced in place to sound worse again, digital distortion, and it's his voice, but it sounds nothing like his voice anymore. And that's like the most memorable part of the song. Yeah. So like, I don't know. I think you should be breaking rules, not all the time, like all throughout the whole song, but at least once in every song.
Yeah, you're not going out there like, oh, I'm going to break stuff. But instead you're giving yourself the opportunity to color outside the lines.
100%. Yeah. So with Sylvia, she'd run her bass through a potato. For me, I might just throw a whole bunch of distortion or like play my omnichord through a pedal.
Oh, maybe. That's awesome. That's awesome. All right, next track. And I should also let you know that we are in a moment going to put these two tracks together.
Cool. Yep. Okay, why did I pick this track?
Yeah, or what do you like about it?
Okay. I mean, the vibe. I'm sorry about this. I know that
it's fine.
The lyrics are not, whatever.
Now, do you self-identify as a bad bitch? Is this
100%? This is why I love this song. This is my soundtrack to my life, right? But no, the reason why I love this, it's actually the second verse. It was like a viral TikTok verse. And these two women, they're amazing. Like they have this cool style, and they did this whole like content strategy of like running through places. This vibe.
I said I love you to that man, but I'm not feeling it. I'm made of sugar, spice, connect,
got a little bit.
cinnamon. Me and my bestie are the same, like a synonym. I be Michael Phelps, all the brand deals that I'm swimming in.
And she'd do this like swimming in, Oh, it was so good. And they just run through places. And the videographer would run backwards. And they'd just be running and like to that verse. And it was just so good. To bring like knowledge of the song, because the first time I heard it was on social media. And the reason why I picked this is because, first of all, the production's great, the artistry is great, I love it, it's just like a great track, but also like it's great content strategy. And I think now for artists, like it's so important to think about content strategy. Not necessarily, and to be like, think outside of the box with it, like break your biases, right? Because they just had them running through random places, and then they would take a comment, run through the grocery store, run on the beach, run in this place, and they would do it. And people were like, wow, and the song kept playing and playing and playing, and then it just blew. This is how people got to know this song. So I think it's just a really, really great song, but also great marketing strategy.
It's like Pharrell's Happy, his 24 hours of happy dancing and all the different, it's like,
And I just think content strategy, I don't know, I guess it was that accidental marketing position I had, but I just feel like that was just so well done. And like you feel their energy, and they both have very cool, distinct voices. I just really love it.
Are you a fan of Jersey Club?
Yeah.
Yeah, me too. That Jersey Club, like back in the day, if I had writing to do and I was behind schedule, I'd listen to dubstep.
Oh,
but
yeah.
now if I'm like behind schedule, I'm cranking Jersey Club. So like if
Listen to dubstep.
I do too. I do too. But if I'm in this room and I'm like, I've got a schedule, I'm
Yeah.
like, oh, I'm blasting Jersey Club.
Yeah.
But I was talking to a buddy of mine who did a little bit of research on history of Jersey Club, crossover, the ballroom, other stuff. And I was like, man, I don't know what it is. Just that bed squeak sound is like, and he's like, you know what that is? And there's a whole story behind it. There's a lore. I don't know if you've heard this.
I feel like I've heard the lore before, but remind me.
Well, and I'm this is secondhand from somebody who secondhand read it in a book.
Yeah.
Apparently there's a rocking chair that's just been sped up.
Oh no, I didn't know that. That's
Yeah.
cool.
And it shows up here in this song.
I'm about to sin again. I said I love you to that man, but I'm not
Sort of
feeling
quiet in the back.
I'm made of sugar, spice, connect, cologne, and cinnamon. Me and my bestie are the same, like a synonym.
Yeah, that's like. I mean, I love that sound. So.
Yeah, I do too. I do too. Okay, so you know both these tracks pretty well, and you
Yeah.
are a musician and
Yeah.
a scholar of music production. I would like to put these two tracks together. I chose them because they're about the same BPM. You can see here
Yeah.
on the platters, we got Sleigh Bells on the left deck. It's sped up to 80 BPM. We got this at 80 BPM. And I've done nothing other than beat gridded this.
Okay.
And I do have, because Sleigh Bells comes in a little bit later, I do have this hot cue.
Okay.
You know, after that whole
Yep.
introductory stuff.
Okay.
So I've got some ideas of what we can do with this track, but I want to invite you to come up with some ideas.
Me, a DJ? That is not on my multi-hyphenate
it's
name.
going to be after today. There's a
gonna
few
say-
things that we can.
Okay.
A few things we can do here. We can obviously jump anywhere in a track. That's what DJs do. We can also filter some stuff out, both with EQ and then also, you know, low pass, high pass kind of business. And then, and you probably know about this, but we can also stem things out.
I got many men,
Okay.
bitch slap.
So you can have drums, vocals, instrumentals isolated. So think about different sections of both tracks.
Okay.
I'll give you a moment. And think about what would be dope AF to put on top of each other.
Well, I want to do the second verse
Okay.
of the like, "Hello, Christ, I'm about to sing again."
that's okay. So we're gonna go here. Really, you just want to sing this? We
But
should
it's
get
so
rid
good.
of
Like, I'm sorry. Like, it's
the
just,
rhymes are
it's just
really
so
good on this. There was another rhyme earlier. Oh, what does he say about I forget what the rhyme was, but it was like, oh, that's so good. Anyway, I'm sure it'll come up.
I'm like Michael Phelps. All these brand deals I've been swimming in.
I didn't know. God, what was? Well, we'll
I love
find
it.
All the brand deals that I'm swimming in.
Wait, but that's not the second verse.
Yeah, it is. Well, yeah, it's the second verse.
So that's what you want?
Well, I want the "Hello, Christ." Yeah,
Same, like a synonym. I be Michael.
yeah, it's before that.
Okay, let's go back a little bit.
I'm about to sin.
Right now. So this is going to be the beat, but there's the anacrusis, I think.
Yeah.
Christ, I'm about to sin again.
Okay, and then that over like. Yeah, I mean, you just let's put it over just like the plain, like the beat at the start first.
So I believe, go ahead and hit that red hot cue. Great, and then you can press play now, and it'll keep going. So do you want
and then
that
I can bring
beat?
that in. Yeah.
Okay.
Hello, Christ.
Yeah, nice. Okay, cool. So let's go back.
Yeah.
Hit the red hot cue. Great, that's where we jump to. Hit the thing there that says loop. It says 4.
Where is that?
Here, find
Here?
it. Yeah, exactly. Okay,
Okay.
so now that's a 4-beat loop. If you
Okay.
want to, you can hit the ×2 or the half to
Okay.
make it double. Go ahead and press play.
And that'll just loop that. And then I can bring that in. That like.
Yeah. Right. So I know. Now, if you don't want that, you could.
Oh, no,
you
I
could
like
move,
it.
Okay, I do
Leave
too.
it.
So then what you can do is you're currently Christ is right there.
Okay.
Cool.
And I just press play.
Just press play.
Okay, let's see.
Christ, I'm about to sin
No.
again.
Oh, it's too late. Oh no.
How do I do it?
Sometimes no, you're doing great. There's sometimes latency issues.
Okay.
Hey, let me tell you something else. You can then move this back, and it'll like.
Can I
kinda-
cue it up to like.
So here we go.
Christ, I'm about to sin again. I said
Just
I
the
love you
vocal.
to that man, but I'm not feeling it. I'm made of sugar, spice, connect,
There it
cologne,
is.
and cinnamon. Me and my bestie are the
Yeah.
same,
You want the
like a
bass?
synonym. I be Michael Phelps, all the brand deals that
For
I'm
right
swimming
now.
in. You can call me Dr. Evil 'cause I got many
Yeah. And then like I would go to like the chorus on that.
Yeah, good. Okay, let's do it. Let's do it. All right, find the chorus.
Yeah.
In
How do I do it?
in the left deck. So you can do it a variety of ways. You can go, well, let's first turn loop off. So you go, or you can actually hold down shift and then jump around this way.
Okay.
So those are the arrows plus shift.
And then I can just press play here.
Yeah.
Oh. That's so much further away.
You could also jump ahead with that.
Shift?
Shift, that will go 16 beats. And then without
That.
shift, it'll go just 4 beats. Oh, that's good too.
Yeah.
Okay, and if you want
Okay.
to keep a spot, you're going to
And
hit.
then I want to stop here.
Boom. Okay. So you want the
Yeah.
earlier.
Yeah.
Okay, so go back earlier and find it, and then you're going to hit one of these buttons.
Okay.
Right when it starts, and that's like your jump to spot.
And then I hit right when it starts.
Yeah. Nice.
And then I can do another one of like the other chorus.
Yeah, exactly. Wait for it to come around and then hit that pad. Nice. Okay, great. So now you've got your parts, I think.
Okay.
You've sort of, do
Kind
you have
of.
all the parts you want from this?
We have to get the chorus.
Okay.
And, that's kind of
And
what
again, this will
happens.
go forward and back 1 bar, or
Okay.
shift that will be 4 bars.
We have to get the- Yep. Yeah. Those two. Okay.
Okay, so that's what you want.
Yep.
Okay, great.
Okay.
Cool.
Now what? Put them together.
Yeah, now put them together. Give me a little mini set.
I don't know what I'm doing. Okay. I don't want the drums in this. And I want everything in there for right now. So this will start me at the beginning.
Yeah, so what these do is these
Start point.
These, yeah, start points. And if you hold it down, it'll keep going. And then you can hit play and let go.
Okay.
If you wanted to.
Okay. I get a little louder in my headphones because like I'm trying to feel it.
Is that good?
Yes. Oh wait, it goes right. I loved that. It was great. But this doesn't loop anymore. It just keeps going.
You can loop it if you wanted to.
Okay, so how do I loop? Just like
So once you go
I
to
just
where
loop
you,
it.
yeah, you just hit loop.
oh yeah. Okay. Okay. I got.
And then
it.
when
Okay.
you're done with loop, you hit that loop button again.
Okay. Right? Yes. And this was the verse, second verse.
Yeah, I think so.
Christ, I'm just feeling it. I said I never take that man, I'm not feeling it. I'm made
Thank you.
sugar, spice, connect, cologne, and cinnamon. Me and my bestie are the same, like a synonym. I be Michael Phelps, all the brand deals that I'm swimming. You can call me Dr. Evil, cause I got millions. Invested in this pussy, and this shit is being dividends. Slap a bitch, slap back, cause I'm feeling it. Now you wish.
That's all right. Wait for it. Drop it when you think it should happen again.
You like me.
No, I can't get it in time.
I think it's a latency issue. Latency.
Me?
You wish you could never, ever, ever be that bitch. You like me. Now you wish you could never, ever, ever, ever.
So fucking good.
You could never, ever, 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 ever be that.
God, yes!
Yep. Yep. Yay!
Something like that. Echo out or something like that.
Cool.
That was really good.
All right, we got
Yeah.
there.
Okay. Yeah. Well, of course, you've never used this hardware. before.
Never.
But let me ask you, what was it like? So I think here's like a hot take that I have about DJing
Okay.
as an educator. We in music education do a really good job of large ensembles,
Yeah.
choirs, orchestras, etc. And And those entities are very good at performing
Yeah.
and spending an entire semester getting good at this one thing.
Yeah.
I don't think we do a lot of the other stuff, connecting music to our lives, connecting music to the world around us.
100%.
And we certainly don't do anything with creating, God forbid. What I think is so special about DJing is that it's everything that you're doing in the studio, but it's extemporaneous. And so you're taking soundscapes, tracks that have resonance with people. It's already out there, and you're melding it together on the fly.
Totally.
But it's some of the same like production techniques. I mean, what you just did there with form was exquisitely done.
Oh.
And it was on the fly. And I think
It
there's
was
something,
flying a boss.
there you go. Yeah. Yeah, it was on the fly. And I think there's something about your experience as a producer that may have made this easier.
I mean, I couldn't get it in time when I was in.
Yeah, it's a weird. These controllers are weird. You get used to it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
It's just, I tried.
Yeah.
I did it. I made an effort.
you tried and it sounded good. It sounded
Cool.
good.
The end was cool.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. Okay. Cool. Let's go back to our seats.
Okay.
Let's move on to the next round of questions, where I want to talk to you
Okay.
about datachild.
Okay.
Chrissy, who is
Who
datachild?
is that? Well, do you want to know where that name came from?
Sure. Yeah.
Okay. So back when I was living in the UK, I had a boyfriend. And that boyfriend, when I released my first single as a producer, said, "How does it feel that your data child has been birthed into the world?" And I was like, I think I like that. Wow. Because like I'm kind of, at that time I was more into MIDI data, right? Because it's kind of what it is. It was like a MIDI, I birthed a data child, right?
I'm going to start saying that when I'm working on a research project.
Yeah.
It's my datachild.
Yes, it's your data child, right? So that's literally where it came from. And so I was like, I like that, but I didn't start using that name. It's something that stuck in my head. I was like, if I ever like have a pseudonym and I don't go by Chrissy Tignor, maybe I'll use that. Flash forward a few years, and I had entered a remix competition on this website that called Indaba Music back in the day, which at the time was like cool place to be. Remix competitions, and you get to win like prizes and releases or whatever. And I won. I won a remix competition on there. And they were like, "We're going to release this. What are you calling yourself?"
You need a name.
And my name on the website was Data Child. I'm like, I guess I'm going to be Data Child. And then it just stuck forever. And it's always been that name on the production side. And then of course, like because I was smart, I took Instagram, Facebook, let's get, TikTok, YouTube, like where do I just make sure that I have that name everywhere for whatever reason? And it just never went away. So then that morphed into the content. And I think one of the things I've heard anyway, because now I see people at the flea markets with, I think they don't really realize that I am actually a producer and engineer, and they think that I'm just a gear hoarder. So I'm like, maybe I need to make that a little bit more clear. I need to do more like creative videos that aren't just like, look at this amazing synth.
Yeah.
Yeah. But that's me.
So you do. First of all, are you still in contact with that ex? Is he okay with you using?
I don't think he remembers.
Okay, he doesn't remember. Yeah.
He'd probably be fine with it. He was a musician too.
It's just funny, these offhanded comments that just like, okay, I guess that's what I am now. 20 years later, like you start writing a book and it's like, I guess this is what I'm.
But I don't think he remembers. I mean, people have asked me this before, so I've told this story multiple times. I don't think he's stalking my stuff, but like he is. I feel like we still follow each other, so he knows the name.
Right, but he probably doesn't.
He probably doesn't remember he said
that.
it. Yeah. He would probably see that and be like, "Really? Was that me?" He would never think it was him. But
that was a nice, brief little British accent you tried there. I appreciate that.
I mean, he was British.
So I want to talk about flea market finds in a moment, and your whole like personality.
Yeah.
But I want to pause to ask you about content strategy. I have recently tried with this channel and just overall, like when I took this job at Florida State a couple years ago, I was like, all right, I've been thinking about this, but I'm actually going to dive in and attempt to the best of my time capacities to build this identity around the kinds of things that I think matter. So So all of it is in service of the kind of message. I see it as a part of my remit as somebody who's responsible for some kind of dissemination, right? Whether it's doing peer-reviewed research or public dissemination through an Instagram profile, I view it as one and the same. But it takes so much freaking work. And it takes work both in the production of the content, but just the thinking about the planning and stuff. And I know you said that your flea market finds was a little bit of a happy accident.
Yes.
Not
all of it, no. But the flea market finds specifically, yes.
Yeah, I'm curious how much of your activities online are detailed and curated and planned out. Do you have a strategy memo? Do you have a document? Do you have branding where you've detailed the kinds of tone and stuff that you want your content to be? Or is it just like you're just a cool person online and
I'm sorry, I'm laughing just because like if I had a strategy document or like a Notion doc and
exactly timelines,
my Airtable all set, like I wouldn't do it because like I feel like the reason why it works, and I don't know, I'm not like famous online or anything like that, but
I think you're famous for your niche.
Okay.
I mean, you're at like 40K followers, which is actually
that's not that much. I mean, that's not.
I mean, it's not that much. You're not like a friggin' Kardashian, but like you're a synth influencer.
Yeah,
You know,
sure.
like, does it get any bigger than 40,000?
Synthfluencer.
Okay, I like
Thank
that.
you.
Yeah,
Well, yeah, I mean, so I feel like what works about it is when I'm completely unplanned.
Yeah,
That's what works about it.
meowdulation.
Meowdulation. That was unplanned. And that was one of my that's like over 1 million views on the meowdulation. Like for what? We're going to spoil it, but like theremin, my cat likes butt slaps.
So you put the cat's butt.
So put the butt near the
within
theremin.
the electromagnetic.
You get it, right?
Yeah.
Meowdulation. So that was just random. All the random stuff works. If I think about it too much, it's over. However, I do think that being said, it's not like I just do everything just by, not thinking about it. That's not true. Especially if I'm working with a brand and stuff, it's a lot more that goes into it, right? It highlighting specific features or something like that. But what I will say is that you have to, if you're doing content in a real way, and I hate to be this person, but you have to be willing to be like really cringe sometimes.
I want.
Do you have that written down?
What's it like making content? What's your feelings about the word cringe?
You have to be cringe though,
because you are so earnest in your content. But what people don't realize, and I think about this when I think about your flea market stuff.
Yeah,
your voiceovers are paced so perfectly that there's always momentum to your content.
Yeah.
And it drives engagement because I think people want to listen to what you're going to say, but they don't realize that
but
you're
to me,
sitting.
it's cringe to me.
It's totally cringy. You're sitting in your freaking like closet doing voiceover.
Yeah, it's awful. Like you have to be, and let me tell you, I never used to do voiceovers. I didn't do that. Like I used to just do text on screen. I used like the TikTok robot voice. And that was funny. That's where like some of the jokes in my content come from of like flute and like metronome instead of a metronome. And I still get people, it's obviously not my voice. I still get people who are like, that's not how you pronounce metronome. Like, okay. But like, the robot voice, I used to just like do that and say what the fines was. I never talked. And then when we talk about content strategy, this is what I want to say. I never wanted to talk because listening to myself do a voiceover is cringe. I hate it. I don't like it. But that stuff made my engagement like go through the roof. Yeah. And like, I don't like doing voiceovers on Sundays. It was easier for me to just do that and then type it in. I literally I didn't have to do anything. Like I didn't even have my face on the first time I did a flea market video. But yeah, it's cringe. It's extremely cringe, but you have to be okay with that. The same thing with the most recent video that I did. I forget what the text was. But I want to say this because it's just like, oh, come on. Mm-hmm. Like, that's an engagement, like farm by what you just did, but I knew it was going to do it. But for me, when I was making it, I was like, oh, am I really? But the most recent video that I did went like, I would say pretty viral for the niche, Yeah. And it's at 452,000 views, and it's this Roland hand sonic, which I don't know, you can see it there, right? But on the top, I said, did I waste my money? So I found this hand sonic, and this is the other thing too that's so funny is like people accuse me of faking my flea market videos. And I'm like, who has time to drag a bunch of gear to a flea market and put it on tables and pretend you're finding it? Like,
Also, yeah, that's insane.
but I found this Roland hand sonic, and I was like, I'm getting that. Like, I need that thing. Haggled, you know. I got it for $200, which is the most I've ever spent for something at the flea.
So did you waste your money?
I didn't, but everyone was like, "Did she waste her money?" And so I think there's, at least with my content, there's a magic like relationship between text on screen about something that they're like, I want to learn more, and weird item on screen.
Yeah.
If I can get those two together, that's the content strategy. So weird item, text. Because the weird item is usually enough. But yeah, I feel like that's the extent of it. I think being cringe also, yeah. Just get over it. I still hate it every day. But the other thing is too, if something is not working, you have to stop doing it.
Yeah.
And yeah, sorry.
The flip to that
Yeah.
is, but I did this thing, and again, I'm dabbling, right? I think you are a content creator. I'm a content dabbler. But I had this idea about a year and a half ago. There's a MIDI app called Music Kraken. It's for iOS, and it uses the face reading whatever and converts it to MIDI. So
that's cool.
Like, you know, on iOS,
I mean,
be like a
dystopian,
giraffe.
but cool. Yeah.
Yeah, so like you can blink your eyes and it'll send a
Okay.
MIDI signal.
Oh,
You can
okay.
open your mouth as like as a pedal, so like 0 to 127, right? And so I would go through and I'd pull like whatever like Tate McRae track or something, and I'd stem out the drums, and then I'd rebuild the drums as an instrument in Ableton, and then I'd just sit there on camera, just like
going,
deadpan,
"Bah."
sticking up my tongue.
And you didn't do it?
I did it twice, and I was like, "This is hilarious." And then my job is busy, and I moved on to
Yeah,
something
yeah.
else. But I'm like, I should have been doing that more.
Do more, and then
that was like a really good idea.
And then put like come up with a really silly text on screen.
Right? Did I waste my time making this drum beat?
Yep.
Yeah, yeah. So I hear what you're saying. That like, yeah, you should switch it up if it's not working, but you should
Yeah.
also fucking commit to the bit.
Yes. Yeah. You have to commit. And try like some of my students right now, they're I do like senior project like supervision for my students, and a lot of them are releasing music, and instead of their project being the music, their project is a marketing plan.
Yeah.
How am I going to promote my music? And one of the things that they have to do is they have to experiment and do a test phase. It's like it's different parts of the song that are going to hit and are not going to hit. The Flyana Boss one, like they've done other videos at different parts of the song that hello Christ, that done. Everybody goes locked in, you know, like it's just, and you have to be like really honest with yourself. If it's not the right part of the song and it's not working and the engagement isn't there, try something else. Doesn't mean it's bad, but people, you know, who are watching social media, they don't have attention spans.
Right. And I feel like there's a lot that we can say to criticize where we are and whatever. I don't have the skills and media studies to offer any hot takes and all that, but I do know that the world out there is experiencing music in that way. I know that K-12 students are experiencing music. So how does music education need to shift in order to accommodate those kinds of musical understandings?
Musical understandings. I don't think people should be making music for social media, like music that will work on social media. I don't think it's that. I think that we need to be educating anyone who wants to pursue a career in music about how to be an all-around entrepreneur for themselves. That's what I think is important. So, and that includes content. And if you want to ignore content, well, how else are you going to get people to know about your music? Content is a really not easy way, but it's a very straightforward way for you to get your audience, and you can do it yourself.
Is there any other way?
Well, that's the point. There's not a lot of another way. Like, but that's why I say, how are you going to get your audience? How are people going to know if you're not going to market yourself?
Yeah.
If you're not going to create content? Because of what I think is really important, we have an opportunity as musicians now that, I mean, a friend of mine, she released her first song last year as an independent artist. She has 2 songs out, brand new artist, built everything from scratch, did all the content strategy herself, multiple millions of streams on Spotify, brand new artist through content for people getting to know who she was, to the point where she had, I think, 3 record labels reach out to her, and she turned them all down because she knows that she can do it better herself than their marketing teams.
Incredible.
They were asking her, how did you do that? And it's like, no, like, and not, you know, eventually she'll pay somebody to do it. That'll be great. But like, you know, it's it's such a superpower that you have as an artist. It's just really difficult if you're a musician or you're an artist in any way to shift that. It's like a second job, which is challenging for people, but
Totally.
it's very, very useful.
Yeah. And I think about it in terms, like I was saying earlier, about like knowledge dissemination. And I think you might be kind of similar. I mean, you are somebody who cares about connecting with a community of musicians out there. And so the way that we do this is through content. And maybe people know this as consumers of content, what it takes to create the content. It is so much work, and that work does require cringe.
Yeah.
And I think about this also in terms of like political pragmatism and how we as people with certain leftist ideas, when we're speaking about something, it's like, it's sometimes embarrassing to be like, oh, I care about equal rights, or like, but it's like, no, man, like,
I think it's embarrassing to not care about
it's pretty embarrassing to
equal
not care.
rights. I mean,
yeah, but to like,
but to say it,
and be out there with your sign and like talking to people. And I feel like, listen, do you want to have an authentic relationship with your community?
Yeah.
Then get over the cringe and just like get out there and make the content.
Make the content, make your sign, go out there into the streets,
Right.
protest.
Right.
Don't be afraid to stand up.
Yeah. Right
Whatever
on.
that is, your rights or your weird synth at the flea market. I don't know.
Wondering how you're going to connect
Look
that.
what
Good.
I found today. Oh.
Yeah. Look what I found today. My First Amendment.
Yeah, right?
Okay. So
I lost it for a while. All right.
turns out it was actually pretty cheap the whole time. $200. Did I waste my money on?
Yeah, did I?
Okay. What's your go-to karaoke song?
Oh, okay. My go-to karaoke song. Let me see. Probably like Bonnie Raitt. Let's give them something to talk about.
Oh, I thought you were going to keep going. Okay, cool. All right.
That one.
I like that for you. If somebody had to roast you, what would they absolutely say?
That I'm a nerd. I don't know.
That's not roasting. It's
Is it not?
2026. That's not
Roast
no.
me. That I am literally the epitome of a childless cat lady.
All right. Yeah. Checks out.
Like literally, I have
Checks
a cat
out.
up there. Yeah,
Yeah.
I am. I'm 100% the childless cat lady with the synth collection.
Okay.
Yeah,
If you had to give up your cat or your Omnicord,
that's terrible.
would we
That's
choose?
rude. No, I would not give up. I have 2 cats and they're not going anywhere. I'd give up the Omnicord. I love my
Really?
cats. Yes, of course. Yes. They would never forgive me. They would turn on me.
they wouldn't know you got rid of them.
They would come back and haunt me.
Okay.
I would never. Oh my goodness, no.
What's an aspect of your field that desperately needs disruption?
Oh, how like.
Hey, listen, the title of this section of this interview is Spicy Questions.
Can I just go for it and say AI?
Okay.
Yeah, AI needs disruption big time.
How
for
do you
me.
disrupt AI other than just like saying
No.
You just say no?
You gotta say no. I think we gotta start like stop the. Well, maybe this is the same as the electric guitar and the drum machine. I think we need to stop that. This is my hot take. Whatever, but like I think we need to not try to equate Gen AI music to the drum machine. I think that's a lot of the conversations that I'm hearing about that. Well, it's the same. Like, and if you're anti-AI, then you're anti-technology or a technological advancement. We got to be really careful about this. I think that we need to be more skeptical. And I do think it needs to be disrupted by, yes, saying no, absolutely. But I think in higher education, we also, and I'm not just talking about music, I'm thinking in higher education in general, we also need to be careful about how much we're allowing for use of AI, permitting and promoting for AI. So yeah, I would say AI. I know that's spicy.
I don't know if that's that spicy. I mean, I think it's kind of spicy, but like I think a lot of people at our level of academia totally agree.
They do, but there's also a lot of people who do not agree in our level of academia.
You know where I am? So I I was, dare I say, an early adopter I was interested in the ways that it could be used to support student learning. And then I guess I'm kind of on the other side, but I'm still, you said earlier we should find ways to be skeptical. And I think that's super important.
Yeah.
I guess what I'm sort of curious about is how is it like the drum machine? And then how is it not like the drum machine?
Yeah.
And I feel like there's a lot of very perhaps dumb statements about how, oh, this is just technological advancement. It's like, well, it is, but it's not the same. So I'm wondering, are you just like no to AI, or are there some areas that you think it could be usable?
Well,
for
yeah,
learning?
I do think that like there's a use. I mean, like, the intelligent like mixing type stuff. This has been around for a while. Like if we're talking about assistive AI, what I think is because assistive AI still preserves creative process. And I think my biggest issue with Gen AI is that it skips over the creative process. So I think that as musicians, at least for me, creative process, even if it takes a long time for me to do something, it's really important to me. As a musician, it helps me grow. It helps me learn. It helps me make mistakes and correct my mistakes. It helps me make those happy accidents and break my biases and all of those things that are really important to me and to many musicians. Process is being a musician to me. And if you take a capitalistic approach to music making that says, like they do in like a corporate tech company, great idea. How quickly can you get us to the end product? That's what it feels like to me. So it's not like the drum machine, because a drum machine, you're still in creative control of a drum machine. Depending on which drum machine it is, sometimes more or less, but like you are still engaging in a creative process.
Yeah.
And that to me is the major difference with prompt-based, AI, Gen AI music. I'm really good at writing a prompt. I had this idea. I can quickly have a result with nothing in between. That takes away process, and that's my biggest issue.
Yeah. All right. Here's something that I've been wrestling with.
Okay.
I sometimes use AI. I sometimes allow my students to use AI in the classroom. So I teach a music tech class, but specifically for music educators. And there's a variety of projects that they do at the beginning in Soundtrap where we do model compositions. So we start out with lo-fi. So here are the musical characteristics of lo-fi.
Yeah.
Go ahead and create a track that sounds just like that. We sort of move along, and then after a few sessions, we get into like they choose from a variety of genres, like drill. Well, let's take drill, for example. I don't know if I trust my students to write drill lyrics just because of who my students are.
Yeah.
And so if they wanted to have lyrics, I want to remove that responsibility for them writing drill lyrics. And you can actually get a computer to write some pretty good drill lyrics.
Oh, yeah. No, I don't disagree with that. But they're still engaging in a creative process somewhere in there, right?
Right.
So I think that this is why I say skeptical, and I'm not anti 100%. I do think that there are good applications and reasonable applications for AI.
Yeah. And here, I'm the purpose of this is for you to make the drill track.
Yes.
The AI
Which
is
is as a
replacing
whole,
the lyrics because that's not the purpose of this assignment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that, again, like there are reasons to use certain tools. As long as for me, it's still engaging in some sort of creative process. That's very, very important. I think it's essential to creativity in general, not just musicians, but just being a creative person. And yeah, so like if it's not, again, if it helps support your creative process, that's a different conversation.
Right. Yeah. And then of course there's other criticisms of AI, environmental
environment. I mean, we
degradation,
didn't even get into that, but
theft of intellectual material.
Well,
but
yeah.
But apart from those are two other criticisms, but just talking about on the learner side, the uses of it.
Absolutely, because like there's also nothing that we can do now. So there's all this technology to push button creativity, which is what a lot of this is, but there's nothing in place to allow us to withdraw our consent to be trained.
Yes.
There's no way that we can poison our audio that tricks an AI or says I do not give you consent to use this for training.
Yeah.
I make content. I received a brief last week from a company that wanted me to collaborate with them. It was a Gen AI music company I'd never heard of before.
Have you ever turned down a brand partnership?
100%. This one. And it was literally like, we can make you a new version of your favorite song from YouTube. Just take your YouTube link and we'll spit. And it's literally just saying to train on copyrighted material, like without no question. It's just right there, right in front of us, and so that's a whole other concern. And I do think, I would not partner with a company like that ever, 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 ever. It was also, I'm not going to go to it. You might not want to give away who it was, but it did not align with my values. And I think our integrity is also important. And if somebody chooses to use this technology in their own way, you know what? Like, that's not necessarily my place to say. But I do think we need to be skeptical, all of us.
Are you going to start a fight club and start blowing up data centers?
Well, then I'd blow up my data child. No, but like the environmental impact is also a concern. Like, we have one planet, everybody. We're already destroying it. Let's not
I'm with you in the environment. I love the environment. I'm also a human on this earth.
Yeah.
I can't figure out what the heck is going on with this water thing. I can't tell if it's anti-AI propaganda or if it's real. Like, you hear these numbers and it's like,
it's scary.
It seems like a lot of water.
Yeah.
Is it real? Is it really that much
I don't know.
water?
Have you been to a data center?
I have. Not a big one.
Did you pour some water? Did it evaporate immediately?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. You
Sorry, that was a spicy one, but yeah.
That was great. That was great. Definitely getting clipped. Yeah. Especially the part about joining a fight club.
Yeah.
All right. Cover the brand partnerships. What's the silliest request you've ever received from a client in production?
Silliest request.
Silliest. Not dumbest. Silliest.
Oh, that's really tough. Silliest. Can I come back to this one?
Yeah,
Because I know I have something good. But I need to think about it.
Yeah, you can go back if it lands somewhere. Okay, we only have a few more minutes together, so I have two more things that I'd want to cover. One of which is our next mashup we're going to do. But we're going to close out with that. I want to take just a few minutes here to talk about audio production and music education. I've sort of said to you that my field is music education, so that's kind of the lens that I'm trying to view all of this through. How do we? And when I say music education, I'm meaning K-12, right? You are a music educator, but you do most of your work at the collegiate setting, although I understand you've also done other stuff. These two things are separate. Music production shows up in higher ed in like commercial music departments or things like that. It doesn't often show up in music education. It's very difficult to go through music education and have the opportunity to produce music in a K-12 setting. I would like to change that. I would like to change it for a few reasons, one of which is just issues of equity and access. Very few students actually participate in music education at the secondary level. But everybody loves a good beat and they are consuming music. They have lots of opinions about music. I'm always looking for ways that we can support K-12 students getting access to that kind of musicality. But then we have industry way over here, and they don't often communicate. I'm a part of a few organizations. I'm editor of the Journal of Popular Music Education, which is a subset of the Association for Popular Music Education. And I'm not sure if you're familiar with. Okay. You would be
APME.
APME. You would be a great fit for APME if you haven't already done work with them.
I've not spoken or participated in that way, but I've been to the conference before.
Okay,
but
great.
I'd love to.
They're great. They should have you do some sort of speaking thing.
I would love that.
What is your idea for bridging these two fields?
Well, I really, so I'm like big sigh because I do think it has to start in music education for music educators and soon to be music educators.
Okay.
Because I think there's like an older generation maybe of like band leaders and choral directors who potentially would look at a laptop and a MIDI keyboard and be like, oh, I'm not doing that. Like that immediately, like it's foreign to them. I think we need to train the future music educators for those devices not to be foreign objects and how to use them. Because I think that for someone who's learning music education, if we stick to the old school ways of learning music pedagogy without bringing in technology, we're still going to just keep recycling the same ideas about pedagogy forever. So I think it starts there. Because if you are a company, and I think Soundtrap has done a really good job about this, like reaching out to these communities for like early education and middle school and high school and elementary school, they've done a really good job to say, hey, like teachers, you can use this. But also a lot of teachers look at that and they think, I can never learn how to use that. That's scary to me.
Yeah.
And anyone who is a music technology lover and user, all of us here, right? We love it. But I can remember a time when I felt the same way. This was overwhelming and scary, and I can't do it. We need to be educating our future educators that yes, they can. If you have a student who comes to you and says, I love music, I don't want to play an instrument, I want to learn how to DJ. How do we support that student? And the same thing happens in higher education too. Like I think we need to expand what it is to audition on an instrument.
Yeah.
So yeah, I do think that like the future music educators of the world need to be educated on how to use this tech. And I think, you know, music technology should be a required course for pretty much every music major, in my opinion. Sorry, but it's true. You know, and also I think funding. Funding is really important. We need it. And I know that in California, we have, you know, some really great funding for the arts, which is fantastic. But not in every single state and not in every community. And I think, you know, having something like, not just, I don't work for Soundtrap. This is not sponsored by Soundtrap, but I do think that just having a web-based DAW,
incredible.
it's so important because then any device can, you know, the Chromebooks, you can have it on any device.
Right.
That's what we need. And that needs to be widespread so that there isn't that accessibility issue as well. Because, yeah.
It's so accessible. and also one thing that I like about Soundtrap and other, I also don't rep for them.
Not sponsored.
Not sponsored, but I do love them. And it's the device agnostic.
Yeah.
So a student can be at their Chromebook at school and then they're home on their iOS device. You can continue learning, you know, what's considered life-wide learning. They're doing stuff outside of the classroom. But you said earlier about funding. I mean, I think we need additional funding, obviously for education, obviously for the arts. There's never been a surplus of funding for those two sectors. And then now it's getting scarier with privatization of education.
Correct.
However, that funding should be done to increase access overall for education. But if we're talking about what's more expensive in the schools, these kinds of models that you're talking about, so much cheaper.
Yeah, absolutely. I just mean more for arts funding
More
in
for arts
general.
funding.
Yeah, oh yeah, because so
Soundtrap
much cheaper.
is like, you can get 50 seats for a year for like $300.
Exactly. So no, not the technology, but just funding in general for the arts, that we need to value the arts.
Yeah.
Because that increased funding increases the openness as well to invest in other types of technology. Because if you expand what an actual music program is beyond band and chorus and like general music, that funding has more places to go and it's widely acceptable wherever it goes. So I think, absolutely there are cost-effective, like I said, the web-based DAW, can't speak. The web-based DAW is revolutionary to me.
Yeah, totally.
It changed the game.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
it's still changing the game. I think anything that is web-based or free, it's providing access that wasn't there before.
Yeah, let's take that web-based thing and segue to DJing.
Yeah, oh, sorry. Here we
Back
go.
to our next track.
We're back.
The reason why I say segue to DJing is there's something that I've been thinking about a lot is web-based DJing. And there's not really good stuff out there yet. There is something, this guy named Eric developed something called UDJ, but it's super clunky. But it's kind of the only name of the game right now. But imagine this web-based, so you don't have to have all of this individual licensing for Serato DJ, Record Box, etc. it would be awesome.
Oh,
And
yeah.
I think we're probably just a few years away from
That'd be
having that.
amazing.
Yeah. Okay. So here's what I have, and we're gonna play these tracks, and then I'm gonna have you talk about them.
Okay.
Here's
Which ones?
this track.
Which ones? Oh yeah.
Oh, here we go.
It's a knife and you know they're waiting for you to choke. It's a knife when a journalist doesn't miss.
How much did your life change when this album came out?
Everything like changed.
When they say that you've been doing things you don't. It's a knife for your old friends, hate your new friends, and somebody.
But which version is this?
Yeah, this isn't the version that I think. I loaded this up and I was like, oh
This
crap.
isn't
this
it? No, no.
All right, so let's load up the original.
Yeah, the original.
Would you mind typing in "Sympathy is a
Yeah,
Knife"
I
on
was
that
like-
keyboard next to you?
Yes. Well, yeah.
Yeah.
It's a knife when you're finally on top. 'Cause logically the next step
Do I have it? Sympathy.
Let's.
It's a knife.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah.
Um.
Interesting. Do you not have it on here?
Well, that was so. I got all of this from YouTube in order to just. But here we have. So this is
Yeah.
actually the original. Here.
Yeah.
Yeah. But this was the version she had on YouTube. The one that I just loaded. But
Oh,
but
no,
here's the album
This is the one
version.
because I was like, "Ooh, this.
Yeah. Yeah, when I loaded this up this morning, I was like, oh, this isn't the right one, but it's what she has on her.
Yeah. Yeah, this one. I love this album.
It's a great album.
Yeah.
Girl taps my insecurities. Don't know if it's real or if I'm spiraling. One
Yep.
voice tells me that they lost.
So tell me about this album. What or tell me about this track. Why do you like this track?
Yeah. Well, first of all, the synth line is just so good.
That
Yeah.
synth definitely has a song to it. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, right. I love the production, like that kind of like clap thing. I think this is also unexpected, production-wise. Right?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, that's great.
I thought it was really great. But I also think just like subject-wise on this song, I really resonate with it. I feel like this song's all about comparison and like self-doubt, which
Yeah.
I think a lot of women in the music industry, like that we feel that. Like this is a real thing.
Yeah, she seems to be hitting on a lot of themes, like what you said, and obviously there's other stuff that she talks about with the relationship with other women.
Yeah.
On this album. There's like kind of like a self-reflective critique of girl bossing, I think, happening. And then she even talks about like, do I want a child?
Yeah.
Do I want to date a child?
Oh yeah, no, I mean for the whole album there's so much. I was talking specifically about
Yeah.
this song about self-comparison, but yeah, like I think there's so much realness on this album that in this hyper pop like lens, it's so interesting because it's on the surface if you don't pay attention. It's like, oh, it's
Right, it's hyper pop. It's stupid.
Yeah.
It's over the top.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But this song, I just was like, oh, sympathy is a knife. I love that. It's like, oh, poor you. I'm so sorry for you. Like you know, like a pity. You know, like pity is harmful. And I think that's just such an interesting concept to put in a pop song.
It is, and it's almost getting at our conversation about the role of cringe earlier.
Yeah.
This acceptance of vulnerability
Yeah.
and realness. Man, pop music is incredible.
Yes.
These themes that are being explored on this track in this album
Yeah.
are, but they're not even rare for pop music. People just don't look to pop music to do this to them, and those people are stupid.
Yes.
All right. Next up. Oh no, here we go. Then over here. All right.
Who doesn't love this song?
We're gonna put these two songs together.
I love it. Yeah, the reason I picked this is because this is one of the first songs that that made me want to be a producer.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, when I hear this song, I think this is Chrissy's sound. This sounds like Data Child.
But like I was like, there was something about this this whole album, honestly. I couldn't put it into words. I had no idea why, but I was like, I need to do this. Like this is so cool. The drums, the strings, that grab that lead. I'm like, what is this? And then I would like memorize all the. I had no idea what I was singing about, but I would memorize it and I would perform it. And like I said, my parents like they wanted to listen to the Beatles. Like my dad hated hip hop, hated. He didn't want me to listen to anything. So I had a boombox, and I would put it up to my ear like this,
Dial it
like
all the way
listening to
down to
Dr.
1.
Dre. Yeah, and I was like, this is amazing. And like this is one of the first ones I was like, how do you do that?
Yeah.
This is sick.
Yeah.
So that's why this one's here.
Yeah, great track. Okay, so what are we doing here? We're going to put these two tracks together. They're at about the same BPM, which is kind of why I chose them, but I think they also, I'll tell you that they kind of don't quite work out harmonically, barely, but we're just going to forget about that.
Okay. Well, let's put like the, let's see, because there's a lot of, in the Charlie XCX, there's tons of vocals.
Mm-hmm.
I would rather put like the rap vocals on the Charlie XCX.
Okay, great. So go ahead and hot cue Sympathy is a Knife, prep it. We can go back to the beginning. If you hold down Shift and then the big Q button, that'll take you to the beginning. Yeah.
Okay. And then,
yeah.
Okay, so Shift Q, and then I want to like.
You're right. So do you want to go back to the beginning?
So
there?
no. I'm gonna cue. I want that boom.
So let's go back here.
Yep. And then I'm gonna do
hit
this.
that button. Yeah.
This.
Boom.
And then play.
Yeah.
Okay, so I only want to be able to loop that boom. How do I do it outside of a 4-bar loop? Can I make it smaller?
Totally. So hit the red Q, yeah, and then hit the 4-bar loop.
Uh-huh.
I'm sorry, 4-beat loop.
Uh-huh.
And then press play and see if you like that. Do you want 2 bars?
Yeah.
Cool. Then hit the 2X.
Yeah, that. And that's there already, right?
That's there. Yeah.
And then
now it didn't save the loop. You're only saving the hot.
I'll do this.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So then if I want to get out of this and keep going,
go and hit the loop 4 button to take you out of the loop.
I want to get to the chorus.
And you can see the waveform up on the screen too. Yeah, right there.
Mm-hmm. And then I hit this.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. And that. Let's do that.
Okay, great.
Okay. So now with Forgot About Dre,
Right.
we're going to take this out, right?
Yeah, and if you look at the waveform, see how the waveform at the bottom there has changed, right? The grayed out parts aren't there, so now you can just see the vocals. And let me say that the stemming is pretty good, but there's a little bit of artifacting.
Okay, that's right.
And I find that actually doesn't get picked up that much when it's on top of something
Okay.
else.
Yeah, there it is.
Like me, blow me. Y'all are gonna keep fucking around with me and turn me back to the old me. Nowadays,
Oh wait, I did it wrong.
If you want to delete something, I can
delete that.
Hold down Shift and hit that.
Okay.
Me back to the old me.
And that's going to be right there.
Okay, so then
A little bit before?
here. Well, I was going to go. If you look up on the screen, I just went right to the bar line.
Oh, and then I do this.
Yeah.
Okay.
Nice.
Nowadays, everybody wanna talk
Okay.
like they got
So
something.
I've got that one. And then I'll do the
To jump ahead, yeah.
Yeah, the
And you can see
second-
on the waveform there.
Because you woke him up and do it always again. You
what?
Oh, yeah.
What'd I do?
This file had. I'm sorry. This
From
version
YouTube?
on YouTube had the skit in the middle.
Oh, I'm going to go back.
Okay.
I'll just do this.
Do you think brought you the old thing with keys? No more.
It'll get there.
Y'all know me.
Yeah. Okay, so how do I can just move this to y'all know me. That's
Yep.
what I want.
And then here it comes.
Y'all
Okay,
Yeah.
and then
Great.
just
So
do
move this back to its. Yeah, exactly. And then hit that.
there.
Yeah. Now, strangely,
Let's
your
start
orange
there.
is before your red. So just remember that.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
Okay. So what do you want to do here?
We're going to start here.
Okay. So yeah, just hit that. Just hit it. Good. No, your loop's not on yet.
Oh,
so
yeah.
Go ahead and
I
press
forgot I
stop.
have to do
Yeah.
that.
So just hit the red thing once. Boom. Okay. Now turn on the loop. Exactly. And then double it. Boom. Now you're good to go.
Okay.
Nowadays, everybody wanna
wanna talk like they got something to say, but nothing comes out when they move their lips. Just a generation, motherfuckers act like they forgot about training. Nowadays, everybody wanna talk like they got something to say, but nothing
I want to do
comes out
both
when
of
they
these at
move
the
their
same
lips.
time.
Just a generation, motherfuckers act like they forgot about training.
Oh,
That was really good.
why did it stop?
I don't know. Did you press?
I did
Oh,
this.
it was
to
already
play.
playing, so then you didn't need to do
Oh.
that. Hey, that's right. We're gonna do this again.
I
Back it up.
feel
Take
like
it to the top. That was great. That was great. Once it's
Okay.
already playing, you don't need to press that play. It just jumps to it.
Oh, I just hit there.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
oh, okay. So just the first time.
Yep.
Okay. So this is already ready
It's
to go.
already. I think it's no. You're gonna have to do it again.
That's okay.
So yeah. Oh no, it's looping.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, right?
Yeah.
Nowadays, everybody wanna talk like they got something to say.
Am I hitting it on
Comes out
time?
when they move their lips. Just a generation, motherfuckers act like they forgot about training. Nowadays, everybody wanna talk like they got something to say, but nothing comes out when they move their lips. Just a generation, motherfuckers act like they forgot about training.
So I know me, still the same OG, but I've been low key. Hated on by most these niggas with no cheese, no deals and no G's, no wheels and no keys, no boots, no snowmobiles and no skis.
Yep.
Mad at me 'cause I can finally afford to provide my family with groceries. Got a crib with a studio with a saw on the tracks.
Yep.
To add to the wall full of plaques. Hanging up in the office and back of my house like trophies. The jaw thing coming out like phone freeze. Hold please, you better bow down on both knees. Who you think taught you to smoke trees? Who you think brought you the ODs? Easy E's, Ice Cubes and DOCs, the Snoop Deal Double G's, and a group that said motherfuck the police. Gave you a tape full of dope beats to bump when you stroll through in your hood. Or when your album sales wasn't doing too good. Who's the doc that he told you to go see? Y'all better listen up closely. All you niggas that say that I turn pop or the firm flop, y'all are the reason the Drake ain't been getting no sleep. So fuck y'all, all of y'all. If y'all don't like me, blow me. Y'all gon' keep fucking around with me and turn me back to the old me.
Nowadays, everybody wanna talk like they got something to say, but nothing comes out when they move
This
their
is
lips. Just a
really
generation,
good.
motherfuckers act like they
These
forgot
two
about
tracks
training.
go so well
Nowadays,
together.
Everybody wanna talk like they got something to say, but nothing comes out when they move their lips.
And
Just a
then-
generation, motherfuckers act like they forgot
Oh,
about
let's do a. You could do that, but you could
So
also
what do
do
you
this.
hate?
Do a
When you
filter
want trying
too.
to bring trouble your way?
Like this?
One of his
No,
own
with
in
the
front of
filter.
your
Oh,
way.
right.
Just study your tape of NWA. One day I was walking by with a Walkman on. When I caught a guy, give me an awkward eye. She looks like the parking lot, but it's sparking out.
Yep. And then
Nice.
the skit comes in.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you were gonna do Chambea in there with the Bad Bunny
I was thinking about it, but
and speeding it up.
yeah, it would have been too sped up, which would have made the vocals sound a little
Yeah.
bit. Yeah. Again, I think that was very good. It was very good DJing. I think that it comes the selection of what parts to play on top of other parts is like half the game.
Okay.
And I think your experience as a producer makes that pretty easy. Here's something that I like about DJing. Not all DJing has to be that. Sometimes DJing is really just about making people enjoy themselves.
Yes.
But there's something about these two tracks being in conversation with one
Yeah.
another that I think is pretty cool. I mean, there's a lot of, I mean, it's not really like feminism, but in like some sort of high theory kind of way.
Mm-hmm.
But Charlie XCX is a woman speaking about issues
Yeah.
that are salient to women.
Mm-hmm. And then
And then it's fucking Eminem and Dre being like probably like slightly misogynist.
yeah.
And having those two together at the same time is like, I think, kind of reinforcing of what Charlie XCX is talking
Yeah.
about.
Yeah. You're right.
Yeah, that's fun. That's
Very fun. Thank you.
This sadly is concluding
We're
our
done.
time together.
This was awesome.
This
Thank you
was
for
awesome.
having
Thank you
me.
so much.
Thank you.
Thank you for all of the rad content that you put out. Thank you for all of the efforts that you have. Education, not just in the work that you do, but then also the really fun videos that you have online. So
Thank you
thank
so much. And thank you for doing this.
Oh, of course.
And
yeah.
for having me. This
Of course.
is amazing.
Yeah,
And all
and-
the amazing work you do here
Oh, thank
and in
you.
the world. You
And
know.
I do so much good work in the world.
in the world
Yeah.
for education.
That's right. You heard it here, everybody.
Yes.